You doing okay? Well, I mean, I like the 41 Chevy too, but I don't know what you're gonna do with it. You take a blow to the head or something? Just walk it off. Walk it off. Well, hello guys, and happy end of May to you. You know, it's hard to believe summer is coming, and it's coming fast. Wow, where did the spring go, right? I'm here, I'm manning the parts counter and the phone. Our parts guy at work here is off the next couple days or whatever. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing, but if I get interrupted by the phone or a customer comes through the door, you know, that's probably what happened. So anyway, the other day I was out taking the sheep to get sheared, so take a look at this little adventure. Well, it's a little past 6 o'clock in the evening. Just coming back from close to Hutchinson, Kansas, getting our sheep sheared. And, you know, a storm like this, I don't often get concerned here on the Great Plains with just your average thunderstorm. But one that looks like this could be of a concern. And I'm just going to keep my eyes out for tornado funnels. There are storm chasers. That was actually a storm chaser that just went that way. Yeah, this could get interesting. I'll keep, oh, see here. Okay, they were back at the other mile line. You see all these cars parked here? This is what this is something that could be concerning. So, see all these guys standing around watching this thing? Yeah, those are storm chasers. And like an idiot, I'm heading into it. I'll let you know how it goes. Storms like this usually like to form a hook, usually on the southeast edge of the storm, the leading edge of the storm, and that's where your funnels form typically. See that sunbeam coming down out there through the clouds? So I turned south and I got to Stafford, Kansas, and yeah, it was getting bad. And you know, maybe a guy could have just gone on through, but I got 4 sheep and a trailer behind me, and I don't need them going absolutely ballistic back there. So we're just gonna try to skirt around the worst of it. We were actually starting to get some hail in with the rain. It'd be kind of cool to see a funnel, but anyway, I'm just going to concentrate on driving, so just fun times on the prairie. I don't know if you can tell while I'm driving, but these clouds are moving like crazy. And I am right under it. Oh, goodness. Oh, my. Just so you know, if you're new to wide open spaces traveling through and you see something to this effect, you know, especially in the spring, very warm day and then it suddenly turns cold, you might reconsider driving into it. Well, another highway going west again. Got a little rain coming down up ahead, but that's no big deal. Got some questionable clouds hanging around, you know, whatever. I just wanted to make sure. Got blue sky over there. So we're on the front of another storm cell here, but yeah, when you got hundreds of storm chasers standing around looking at the storm that you're driving into, it gets a little concerning. Now look at this. Look at that right up ahead. Do you see that dark spot? It's going up. This may be dust. Had me concerned for a moment. Oh, goodness. Oh, look at that. Look at that. See the base of a funnel twirling. Oh, it just broke up. Look at over there. Look over there. Oh, this is bad, dudes. Oh, this is bad. Hang on, sheep. I'm gonna get you through this. Look at that. See that dust kicking up, getting sucked up into the clouds over there? It's going straight up. I wouldn't call it a tornado, but it's not good. Okay, I'm through the scary part, but look at that. Now we got hail. The sheep have a roof, but oh my. Okay, that's it.
Can't talk now. I'm working. Watch this.
Now, don't take what I'm about to show you as a sign that I'm ready to do this, mind you. But I value your opinion, and so I wanted to get it. So we got my door panel for the 65 Corvair 500. I have gotten, this is called Dusty Jade vinyl. Let me turn on this light here. Now you can see how close in shade it is, but this old 60s stuff had a nice glossy appearance, and this does not have that. I can get this exact look of vinyl from SMS Auto Fabrics. It has the shine, but oh my, you pay out the teeth when you buy fabric from those people. And it's probably worth it if you want exact factory look, And then I believe on the 500, the seats had cloth inserts where you sit. That was a geometric sideways, very small rectangles in a repeating light and dark tone color. Perhaps something like this. I can find that from Clark's, but there again, I don't think I can get just the fabric. I think I have to buy seat covers from Clark's. There again, we're into hundreds and hundreds of dollars, if not even into the thousands. I don't know. So I want to do it myself. Now, what I've bought, here we have kind of a, I was going to do this kind of a satiny darker green. So that's what that looks like. Got this on sale at Hobby Lobby. So you can kind of see that color there. And then from Sailrite, of all the online fabric stores, I really like using Sailrite. They care. There's quite a few of them that I've tried that their customer service is so lousy. They may have good deals, and honestly, even SMS's is pretty bad. They don't even want you to call, But anyway, Sailrite, they have good stuff. Sometimes it's a little expensive, but their customer service is awesome. I got this on sale probably $16 a yard, I think, and it's very small light and dark lines. A bit more of a blue, but I'm thinking perhaps maybe that would even be better. Kind of got this as an afterthought. I was really looking at this, but I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. I'd probably lean towards this one.
So guys, once again, I'm going to wing something here. I'm just going to see where it leads. I have a few things to read for you, and we'll see what happens. This is all going to be from Matthew. I'm going to read excerpts from 3 different chapters. I'm going to start in 14. Immediately Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go on ahead of him to the other side, while he dismissed the crowd. After he had dismissed them, he went up on the mountainside to pray by himself to pray. Later that night he was there alone, and the boat was already a considerable distance from land, buffeted by the waves because the wind was against it. Shortly before dawn, Jesus went out to them, walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. "It's a ghost," they said, and cried out in fear. But Jesus immediately said to them, "Take courage, it is I, do not be afraid." "Lord, if it's you," Peter replied, tell me to come to you on the water." "Come," he said. Then Peter got out of the boat, walked on the water, and came toward Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. "You of little faith," he said, "why did you doubt?" And when they climbed into the boat, the wind died down. Then those who were in the boat worshipped him, saying, "Truly you are the Son of God." Verse 17, at chapter 17, at verse 17. After 6 days, Jesus took with him Peter, James, and John, the brother of James, and led them up a high mountain by themselves. There he was transfigured before them. His face shone like the sun, and his clothes became as white as the light. Just then there appeared before them Moses and Elijah, talking with Jesus. Peter said to Jesus, "Lord, it is good for us to be here. If you wish, I will put up 3 shelters, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." While he was still speaking, a bright cloud covered them, and a voice from the cloud said, "This is my Son, whom I love, with whom I am well pleased. Listen to him." When the disciples heard this, they fell face down to the ground, terrified. But Jesus came and touched them. "Get up," he said, "don't be afraid." When they looked up, they saw no one except Jesus. Then verse 26, chapter 26, starting at 31. Then Jesus told them, "This very night you will all fall away on account of me, for it is written, I will strike the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock will be scattered. But after I have risen, I will go ahead of you into Galilee." Peter replied, "Even if I fall away on account of you, I never will." "Truly I tell you," Jesus answered, "this very night before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times. But Peter declared, "Even if I have to die with you, I will never disown you." And all the other disciples said the same. Now Peter was sitting out in the courtyard, and I'm skipping ahead to 69 after Jesus has been arrested. Now Peter was sitting out in the courtyard, and a servant girl came to him. "You also were with Jesus of Galilee," she said. But he denied it before them all. "I don't know what you're talking about," he said. Then he went out to the gateway, where another servant girl saw him and said to the people there, "This fellow was with Jesus of Nazareth." He denied it again with an oath, "I don't know the man." After a little while, those standing there went up to Peter and said, "Surely you are one of them. Your accent gives you away." Then he began to call down curses, and he swore to them, "I don't know the man." Immediately a rooster crowed. Then Peter remembered the word Jesus had spoken, "Before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times." And he went outside and wept bitterly. Now in these 3 passages, these 3 chapters, there's a lot of message or sermon material, I suppose. And maybe you're thinking, I'm going to speak about fear, because it was definitely displayed in all 3 instances. And all 3 instances were targeted in on Peter. Perhaps the most, of all the 12 disciples, the most verbal, the most talked about, because I think he was the one that displayed the most. He was a man of action, the most outgoing character of all the disciples. But what I really wanted to talk about was, and it's certainly about Peter, throughout my entire life, and I'm sure if you have been a believer and read your Bible and take part in church, Sunday school, Bible studies, whatever, Peter is a very common subject. The things he did, the things he said, and sometimes Jesus's response to him. Oftentimes Peter is viewed as what not to do in these discussions, right? In fact, at one point Jesus had to rebuke him, told him to get behind me, Satan, because when Jesus was talking about being arrested and crucified, Peter said, "Surely not," and obviously Jesus knew this had to be done, and so said, "Get behind me, Satan," this is Jesus' purpose here on earth. The Mount of Transfiguration.
Oftentimes it's almost considered laughable that Peter said, this is good that we see this, that Moses and Elijah are here with you. Shall we build shelters for you? And we think when Jesus says to come, and Peter is walking on the water with Jesus, we think about his lack of faith that causes him to start sinking. But here's what I see more and more, and most recently, what I see of Peter is we need to be more like Peter in a certain way. Yes, he is the most talked about disciple, perhaps, because he was the one. You know, when Jesus was arrested, yes, Peter was there and disowned Christ 3 times. That is absolutely true. But the thing that people miss is, where are the other 10? You know, Judas is dead by this point. Where are the other 10 disciples? Only Peter was so bold as to follow him into the courtyard, into the enemy's camp, at least that we have a record of. You know, we need to at least be that bold. Would any of us follow Jesus that closely into that courtyard? Or would we have been like the other 10? Or in the boat, they were all terrified. They see Christ, they think it's a ghost at first. They see Jesus walking on the water. Only Peter wants to jump out and walk towards Jesus on the water. Now, Jesus, in the end, when he looks around him, can any of us honestly say, okay, I'm standing on a lake on the top of the water here. It's who knows how deep below me. Can any of us honestly say that we wouldn't start looking around in a little bit of fear? Only Peter jumped out of that boat and walked towards Jesus. You know, and on the Mount of Transfiguration, they were all very tired. They had been sleeping. He jumps up, and they see this incredible sight of Jesus in all his glory, and Moses and Elijah. Only Peter responded with anything, probably the first thing that came to his mind. And, you know, it doesn't matter that it made sense or not. You know, what's important is, and I've heard this often, that Peter, the meaning of Simon, which was his name, his given name, his legal name, meaning that it's a reed, you know, as in a plant. So he went from a reed that could be shaken in the wind, but Jesus renamed him Peter, meaning a rock or a piece of a rock. So he went from a reed to a rock. And names are very important. What you call yourself is very important. It doesn't matter if people around you think and call you a loser or an idiot or whatever, but what you call yourself, if you are constantly referring to yourself as an idiot or a loser or whatever, that's what does the most damage. You are what you call yourself. So I really hope you don't do those things, but if you do, you need to start talking to yourself in a positive light. I am successful. I am courageous. I can do this. Those kind of things. So Jesus went from calling a disciple that was a reed in the wind to a rock, just like Jesus. Jesus was the rock, right? And so Peter became a piece of that. And in fact, when he was crucified for being a Christian, he didn't think he was worthy. Many of you know this. He didn't think he was worthy to be crucified like Christ. So he basically made them, or asked them, that he be crucified upside down. Can you imagine that kind of request, being in that kind of spot? So I don't know where I'm going with this. I think I've kind of said everything I really meant to say, but sorry if the bubbles are distracting. I'll get back on the P47 there. That Peter made a lot of mistakes, perhaps said a lot of abrupt, was a little too abrupt in speech a lot of times. But whenever we discuss Peter in Sunday school or whatever, or I listen to a sermon about him or whatever, I just think more and more we need to be a little bit more like Peter. Yes, he looked around in the natural and got a little fearful or said something stupid or whatever. But he did it. He jumped up and did it when no one else did. And that is a very important thing to remember. Guys, I thank you so much for joining me. Those of you who stick through these whole videos and watch me just ramble on, I appreciate you so much. You don't know how much I appreciate you guys. And a lot of you guys are some of the nicest, most generous, kindest, most encouraging guys. When I put up that wall video, I was blown away by the response, and I know this of you. The response of some of you, you could tell that I was discouraged about what's going on with my shop. And that's life. And anyway, I really appreciate you. God bless you. We'll see you next time.
Where's the rest of you? In the boxes?